Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the DreamHack Open live from Leipzig, Germany. This is day 2 and we're getting on through day 2 as we're having a lot of teams qualify for our championship day, which will be tomorrow. We just saw Dignitas take out Guess Who. A lot of people would not have expected it, and I want to put this into perspective a little bit more as we see a shot of the trophy there on the stage that everyone's going for. Dignitas is a North American rival series team, and they just took out a European RLCS team.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that, Quinn and Chiefs?
RLCS team, a team that makes it pretty much a run into the RLCS to like what, the semis or even the finals almost every season, it feels like.
Yeah.
That is a very strong team, so Dignitas, well done to you.
Yeah, I mean, please make RLCS next year, please.
I know, right? I don't see how it can happen. They look incredible, and they might be able to make a run tomorrow. But we're shifting to the other group again, the Gale Force group, and we're going to show you exactly what that looks like right now on the screen. Gale Force took out G2 a little bit ago, 3-0, and Fnatic took out Team Secret 3-0 as well, and those are our two teams at the top of Group D. Gale Force and Fnatic, they're playing next. Meanwhile, G2, they fell to Gale Force, but they were able to take out Secret. Secret is out of DreamHack Open. G2 is now awaiting the results of this match. They're going to be playing the loser of this match, and that's going to be the last match of the day. So, ladies and gents, we got a pretty tasty matchup right here. We got Gale Force going up against Fnatic. Both these teams are undefeated in the tournament thus far. They have not lost a single game. Gale Force took out Juicy Kids in group stages 2-0, and then they took out G2 to get to this point 3-0. Meanwhile, Fnatic 7-0. 2-0 over Rocketeers and 2-0 over Guess Who in the group stages, and then 3-0 over Secret to get here. And good news, everyone, it is impossible for the trend to continue for both teams because they play each other.
Is that good news, though?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, that makes me kind of sad.
It makes me happy. We get to see who's going to do it.
I like both of these guys. I had a tough time.
What are you talking about?
Well,
we need a winner.
I know we need a winner. It's just like I'm sitting there all break long like, geez, who do I pick?
I know. I don't know. I'm just going to wait for Twitch chat to decide. I know everyone's getting ready to put their picks in, but...
Are you guys serious?
What do you mean, are you serious? What do you mean, are you serious?
About what, Quinn?
I got my money on Fnatic.
Just like that?
Just like that.
But this is Gale Force, man. That's K-Dop you're seeing on the screen.
Gale Force.
He doesn't lose.
I mean, yo, hear me out. Gale Force, incredible team, but coming into this tournament, I haven't really seen the Gale Force that won RLCS. That Gale Force is not here.
They haven't lost a game, Quinn.
They're still not here. Did you see their? I mean, they were just playing so. They didn't have the same, wow factor,
okay.
The same pop. Exactly.
All right. Okay. Well, maybe this is their chance to prove you wrong. But as we go to the other side of the stage, Fnatic, this is a team that is impressing all of us so much, I think. A team that, they were dubbed the leftovers before Fnatic picked them up. And again, they're 7-0 this weekend. And who says they can't continue that? But setting us up for just such an amazing matchup here.
Yeah, absolutely. Fnatic, I mean, everybody knows about their story through the RLRS and losing their sponsorship with Fnatic, but then gaining it back after Fnatic had faith in them to make it into the RLCS. And this team is just such a wonderful team of players. We have Sicky, Snasky, and Maestro from Envy. I mean, just all so well-rounded. It's hard to go against them.
Moreland Maestro. Now we get to see him against some really stiff competition here. It's been a while since we've seen Maestro play some top-level competition.
By the way, it is time, ladies and gents, in the Twitch chat. Who will win? Help us decide. I don't know what's going to happen. Hashtag Gale Force if you think that Gale Force is going to take down this best of 5 and advance to tomorrow right now. And hashtag Fnatic if you think Fnatic will advance to Championship Sunday. I am completely torn. Both these teams have shown phenomenal games, 2 of the top European teams. I think we're going to see both of them for a very long time in Rocket League Championship Series / Rival Series festivities. But that being said, it's time for us to make our predictions. Chiefs, we're going to start with you.
We saw some really good games out of Gale Force versus G2. A little bit sloppy, not like you were saying, Quinn, not quite the Gale Force we've come to expect. We haven't seen a lot of Fnatic leading into the Open, but what we have seen, they've looked really good. And I think that's just enough for me to pick Fnatic. I think they've put in the work off screen.
I think
you already know who I'm going for.
Who do you
Fnatic
pick,
all
Quinn?
day, baby.
Guys, Gale Force is... They're always at the top.
You're not wrong.
They're always at the top.
I still think they make day 3.
Okay. but just a different
winners.
route. I have to pick Gale Force here, and this is just because Gale Force is just who they are. And Fnatic, they've had some awesome results, but Gale Force has always been at the top, and I'm always going to go in that direction. So I think it's up to Fnatic to kind of use this opportunity to kind of disrupt those results, and then I'm going to pick Fnatic all the way through. But I have to pick Gale Force here in this matchup, but it could go either way. I want to see what Twitch chat thinks. This is going to be the ultimate. Oh wow,
Yeah.
that is so close.
It's a close one.
That is tight.
It's a close one.
I'm saying 54% in favor of Gale Force, and now it's time to invite our commentators into the discussion. Gregan and Shogun, help us figure this out.
There's not really a huge amount we can figure out. It's going to be close. I think the idea of being polarized towards one of the teams is the issue here, because I don't think anyone who is smart knows everything about Rocket League could predict this.
Absolutely not. I mean, this is a game that we've almost been starved of ever since Fnatic didn't make it into the RLCS all those months ago, and finally on the big stage, we're going to be able to see it.
That's some great points. Like, our ultimate conclusion is we're going to see some great Rocket League. So I'm expecting some overtimes, maybe a Game 5. But Shogun and Gregan, take it away, guys.
There we go. We've convinced them it's going to be close.
We convinced them. This should not take much convincing that this is going to be a ridiculous Rocket League series. Fnatic and Gale Force, same as our previous series, both undefeated heading into this match. The loser will be going down to take on G2 for our final match today, but I can guarantee you neither team wants to be in that position. They want to go through right here, right now.
Let's think hypothetically, though. We've said it's going to be close. If there was going to be one of them who you would bet 6 months ago, say, who would you have gone for?
If I was to bet on one of them, back then, Gale Force. Gale Force was dominant 6 months ago, but Gregan, this is not 6 months ago. A lot has changed since then. Fnatic, they've been forced to grind their way back to their position, and now they're going to have to try and find a way past Gale Force. Not now, though.
Yeah, we just saw before that kickoff there, a couple of players not happy with the start, so we'll be remaking that, hopefully, as we can continue our discussion of history of Gale Force and how good they are, but the history of Fnatic dropping off around that phase when they brought in Pondex, and then they brought in Maestro, and they were trying things out. But I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. Snasky at RLCS Season 2 sat down and watched and went, I want to play with Siki. He's amazing. I want to play with Maestro. He's my fellow countryman. I love the way he plays. And now they're sitting on the stage together, and they are overperforming, and that is what we wanted to see from these three players.
I mean, Maestro, he's been a player that's been starved of major appearances. Back in Season 3, when his team went on to win the World Championships, he wasn't able to make it. He had to go and do school things. Then last season, he got dropped down to the Rival Series. So this is Maestro's opportunity to really step up, because he's a player that, despite being incredible, I won't say he has underperformance, but he's underachieved against his own against his own prowess.
Yeah, because he was one of the best players in the world on one of the best teams in the world for a long time, around the point where Northern Gaming were really reigning true. But then, as you said, Turbo Pulsar took his spot in Season 3, and Maestro had a bit of a break with school, but he has really been grinding in this off-season. Fnatic are going to be trying to come in for this next season of RLCS and prove why they deserve to be there. But we are now starting a proper match, and be ready for an incredible series of Rocket League. Gale Force versus Fnatic could go either way.
And seeding could very well be on the line as long as both these teams potentially beat G2 in the next round. However, neither of them really want to see that matchup, as they would much rather take on a number 2 seed or a number 1 seed. Actually, I say that, Gregan, I've looked at our list of teams that have gone through. Number 2 seed, number 1 seed, I still look at it and just go, it's not major difference really there. You're getting a tough match no matter what.
Yeah, top 8 tomorrow is going to be some of the best teams in the world, because most of them are here. And which of these will be joining them? I'm feeling both are likely to join them, but which one of them is going to get there with the better seeding and earlier? That's the important thing right now.
Played down by K-Dop, looking for Turbo Pulsar, who can finally get a big booming clear over to the corner, and then he blocks. Gale Force have an opportunity to now settle forward, grab the 2 middle boosts, and not allow Fnatic any space to move forward. However, Fnatic did a very good job forcing challenges. Probably start moving this downfield, and yes, they have. They've transitioned over. Big challenge there from Snasky, read by Siki. Turbo Pulsar thought he was safe. He was anything but.
You said read by Siki. I did want to talk about how good Siki is at reading the game. It's something he's been able to do ever since he first came into the scene. He's always had a great knowledge of where that ball is going, and right there, he used that factor to take the goal, and that has put Fnatic in the lead.
Siki really, he's been around forever, but made a name for himself back in Season 3, where he almost led the leftovers, kind of as that core central player, to some major victories, twice taking down Flipside Tactics, who at the time were the reigning champions. Maybe he'd like to add another set of reigning champions to his list of defeated players, as Turbo will be beat for the challenge. Violent Panda and K-Dop make their way back. Snasky wants to set himself up for the block, but can't quite make it there. Now Maestro just wants to try and force the issue here. Many slow touches from Fnatic. They're trying to drain some boost away from Gale Force. Snasky can go for the double tap, and he will make it!
Snasky finding himself on the backboard, just popped up by Siki. Great vision by him to know his teammates close behind him. And off the ceiling, off the backboard, off Snasky's car. That goes to the goal and puts Fnatic in a strong position, 2 goals up.
Gale Force were almost conditioned to believe Fnatic were going to keep slow playing. And Fnatic then just sends Snasky forward, and he does the damage. Now 2 players committed. Maestro might have made a bit too much contact. Allows Telepulse space to find a little bit less of a danger zone. Back into the corner. Telepulse does get the boost. Absolutely crucial if Gale Force want to stave up a third goal. Might not even matter. Snasky yet again gets the goal, but what an incredible in-field play.
Just look at that vision. Maestro sends that fast into the middle, and that could be the fastest shot we've seen today, 135 kilometers an hour. Infield pass, boomed into net. Fnatic are looking incredible.
Gale Force need a response, and they need it quickly. This has been an absolutely ludicrous start for Fnatic to this best of 5 series. For the first time in a while, Fnatic now on the defensive. As Gale Force start making their way, they've got a lot of work to do. And goal line save will make that even harder. Now Turbo, still got a hold of the ball. Very low boost for him, however, as he tried to recorrect himself. K-Dop now up in the air, but he does get beat. Siki can't quite pass the ball infield, will offer the ball over to Violent Panda, who I feel so sorry from there. He just kept flying away from the wall, despite being a matter of inches away from it, so he couldn't correct his car in time. K-Dop, he might have an opportunity to take the shot. He does, and it's going to go in. 1 step taken, 2 more to go.
K-Dop alone gets the block, reads the bounce, and gets the angle. Maestro had to predict that. It's going to be a tough save when K-Dop's that close to the net. He always seems to find the gap. Something he is known for now in the Rocket League scene, just being one of the best strikers, always finding a way to score.
Maestro going to play the ball long. And Turbo just about taking over, playing the ball out of the blue side, or he would like to, but that's going to be tapped straight down. We've seen players like a lot able to turn those touches in, so as a defender, you've got to be so worried whenever you see someone on the backboard. Is he going to shoot it? Is he going to pass it? Usually the best defense is just to make sure that they don't even get the opportunity, get up there and tackle them. Violent Panda leaves the shot for K-Dop. Takes the ball over to the side. Almost wanted to see if Siki would make a mistake and jump without making contact. Now Snasky would probably like to have pinched that one up towards the ceiling, but just can't quite get the execution off as Maestro now pulls himself down. Gale Force have got 1 minute to find 2 goals.
Tough. They've not looked in best control of their cars. One of the things they mentioned earlier on Violent Panda's interview is they don't do anything too flashy, and that's what's so good about them, is they play a very standard game just very, very well, and that requires them to be mechanically consistent. I've just not seen that same Gale Force in this event so far. Hopefully it will come by the end of this game. Maybe it'll have to be tomorrow.
K-Dop now has the ball into his own control. 30 seconds. Gale Force still require 2. They're going to find Telepulsar. Puts the ball straight down. Could get a double tap. Siki is there in time. Now K-Dop puts the ball up high yet again. Gale Force have certainly had ideas, but none as good as Maestro's just there. Plays the ball straight underneath the defender.
Oh, what a fake.
Fnatic have looked incredible in game one. A game that they will take. Just seems like too much work now for Gale Force to do. And Gale Force will need the start of the next game to go much better because it never really looked in doubt.
Fnatic looked very strong throughout the whole series, right from the off. Their offense was beautiful, and one of the things that's been great about Fnatic ever since they formed is everything's very methodical. They make shots, they make passes, and it always looks intentional. And it used to be their downfall because it was too slow and too obvious, whereas now they've got a little bit faster, they got used to each other, and it's clean. It's so hard to defend against, and that's why they scored those 3 goals against one of the best teams in the world, Gale Force. Absolutely,
and Gale Force is a team that's very good at spreading out overall, but against a playstyle like Fnatic's where speed is going to be a main component, it can actually be a little bit your own downfall because often you've only got one player around in the correct position to defend against it. And if they can't do enough, then you are in big, big trouble. So we still have plenty of games left to go. Gale Force, however, will need to find a better start than they did to this one. Fnatic taking game one. And Gregan, you really have to say, this is the group of death. This is the one that everyone was looking at and saying, this is the most difficult bracket that could have possibly been put together. The winner of this, the winner of the group of death, has to go into day 3 as the favorite to win it all.
Oh, of course. And also, the loser of this doesn't get an easy route either.
No.
They'll be up against G2, who were the invited team from North America, who had a great end to 2017. And so that's not an easy way there either, so they'll want to be getting it out of the way now. Fnatic with that 1-game lead, certainly looking more popular. And as the desk said, Fnatic are on form at the moment.
Snaski wants to try and clear away. That's actually 2 players committed. Siki will get a second touch. That was absolutely crucial. Could have offered Gale Force an opportunity to lever shots towards Maestro. Good passing play. Snaski over to Siki. Ball put up high. That's going to force some boost out from Violent Panda, who gets a decent touch and will set it up for K-Dop. Push it back into the orange half of the field. Every time Gale Force wants to push something forward, there's too many players there, but Turbo Pulsar, lovely accuracy on his shot.
Yeah, that ball bouncing in from the corner. Violent Panda, known for being a great setup player, puts it probably a little bit too high for most players, but somehow Turbo Pulsar elevates his car above that ball and sends it down just below the crossbar. Yep. That is efficiency there. You're not going to get more precise than that.
I've never seen a player hit it with his wheels and still get that much power.
Yeah, getting over that ball and creaming it into the net, that's going to be tough.
So Gale Force, I asked for them to get a better start than they did in game 1. They got a better start than they did in game 1. Now they need to extend it even further. A 1-goal lead is never going to be safe against either of these teams. Maestro trying to set himself up. He would have preferred to get the boost.
Oh, like that.
Still managed to make something pretty decent out of it despite misplaying originally. Siki clears the ball long. Just trying to force Gale Force to take a couple of defensive touches and allow Fnatic to set themselves up. Maestro can flick this over to his side. He's actually got players either side of him, but though both of them are rotating back. Such an aerial-based game we're seeing here, and whoever can win these challenges will probably be in the best spot to set themselves up for an offensive opportunity.
I just see the touch is so crucial. Where they go, whether they hit the curve on that wall is vital a lot of the time.
Lover infield pass, and Turbo Pulsar picks himself up a brace. Turbo, a player that really can step up when required. We actually saw him back at the RLCS Season 4 LAN in crucial tie-breaking games. He just seems to have that extra level.
He does, and that was a quality shot just below the crossbar from an infield pass, as you said. That's 2 now Gale Force have performed. Fnatic have to watch out for that.
And Fnatic, we saw yesterday, very good at playing off the backboard, waiting for balls to come towards them and then springing into life onto the counter. But if the ball's been playing infield, it's very difficult to be on the backboard and still be useful. Turbo now wants to cause some more havoc. Fnatic will move forward, keep these blocks coming in. They try and find a way of breaking down Gale Force for 1 goal. Maestro takes Turbo Pulse up for a ride. The ball is played long yet again. Fnatic seem to be happy to be playing hit and chase against Gale Force, who have often got our defender all the way back, so I'm not too sure if that's going to be an effective strategy.
Alone.
There's going to be Turbo Pulse putting the ball straight down. And K-Dop and the rest of Gale Force keep the pressure on.
It was risky. Snasky was the last man back, and he did turn and challenge. If the touch into the middle was better, it could have been a goal.
Double grit, Turbo Pulsar wants to put this down, takes his time, and there's the setup. Finally cleared away by Maestro, but Kadoff will be in control of the ball. Does take his time and allow Snasky to move forward for the challenge. He's actually a target man at this point, but couldn't recover in time, and Turbo Pulsar can take the ball away. 2 minutes remaining, 2 goals is the difference. Fnatic still have all the work to do, but they've struggled to put anything offensive forward for quite a while now.
Yeah, there's been a few times where someone's been positioned on the backboard looking to be a player to hit, either for a shot or a pass back down to the middle, and the touches just haven't been clean up to the backboard. Oh, the double touch.
Snasky can't get there. Maestro backs off. It's going to be him and Siki as the final players back, as Kadoff and Turbo Pulsar will try and create some damage. Turbo over to Violent Panda, looks for the backboard, then gets clattered away. That will allow Maestro to take control. I feel like he's wasted that one, trying to force a challenge. And then Snasky removing a player, still going to be on the defensive. But that right there is exactly what they were after. We saw the defensive happen for maybe 2 more players, and then there was no one left for Gale Force to send forward. Another infield passing play required. Fnatic seem to have adapted, however. 1 pass, looking to try and flick it up yet again. Maestro is waiting in the wings as well as Siki. Speaking of Maestro and Siki, almost turning one into the net. They're running out of time, however, as Gale Force's defense refuses to break down.
That's a common trend with Gale Force. One of the hardest teams to beat when they go up, as they can still score goals whilst maintaining great pressure in defense. They just don't give you the space when you're looking to score. You normally get 1 shot and you're done. You can't maintain it. It's so tough.
That's going to be yet another one. Kadoff makes it 3, but to continue on with your point, Gale Force had the highest game conversion rate of any team back in Season 4. That is the amount of times that you take the first goal, you take a lead, and convert that into a win. So to be 1 goal up against Gale Force is bad. To be 2 goals down against Gale Force, that's even worse. To be 3 goals down, you might as well just stop.
Especially with 30 seconds left. But that is a tale of 2 games. Fnatic looked dominant game 1. Gale Force looked dominant this one. So adaptation will need to be required for Fnatic to try and change the tale. But I do believe this is going to be a much closer game. Game 3.
Kadoff looks to try and set up Violent Panda. Gale Force have really made their statement heard in game 2. Both these teams having very dominant matches all amongst themselves. But now we set ourselves for effectively a best of 3. Both these teams with 1 game each. Both these teams showing us exactly what their play styles are. As we head into the rest of this series, it's about who can implement their strategy better.
So let's have a little walk down memory lane. Let's go back to Season 2, Amsterdam. Who was playing together out of these 2 teams? I'm testing you here, Shogun.
You are testing me.
I shouldn't do this.
You're testing my frazzled mind right now.
Kadoff and Siki were together. Yes. And that
Precision
was...
Z.
That was Precision Z, yes.
See, I am good at my job.
And now look at them, both on top teams. They really have developed hugely throughout 2017. A very different route, though. Kadoff, probably one of the best players of 2017. Siki had a bit of a down phase there. He's always been present in the pro scene. Last year necessarily wasn't his best year, but now he's coming up really blooming on this team.
I want to just remind you to never ask me quick questions like that again. I will lose a game of Trivial Pursuit to a bunch of 12-year-olds.
12-year-olds can be pretty smart.
They can be.
Just remember when Scrubkiller first came into the Rocket League scene, he was only 12. I think he's still 12, isn't he?
He's never changed. He's like the mum that's always been 30.
Yes. That is something that happens in age, doesn't it? You stagnate and stay the same age for 3 years.
These teams, however, have not stagnated at all. Both have been growing over these past 6 months, and both have become such dominant forces throughout the European scene. Now we're going to see who can go forward to day 3 as that team to beat. Gale Force finding themselves on defense to start off the match, but now Kadoff is going to be 1v1 against Snasky. He looks to go low. Often seen quite often today that players that do try and go 1v1, their first touch has been very heavy, often giving the defender more time to react.
Yeah, that instinct of the 1v1 situation is often delayed when you're in that 3v3 because you don't expect it to happen. But Kadoff, a very adept 1v1 player, and I'm pretty sure all of these players at one point gave it a bit of a go. But it's certainly a challenging situation because you always want to rush.
Yeah, Caleb was often the kryptonite of the aforementioned scrub killer. So if he does get it on one situation, then he can be very dangerous indeed. Still no goals scored by either team as we come to the end of minute number 1. Turbo can potentially get that down, but unless you get the first touch perfect, it's very difficult to make anything of ceiling shots off the crossbar. No follow-up will come in, and now Snaski has time. Goes for a flick. Can't get a block from Siki either, so going to be Maestro wasting a little bit of time. Puts the ball into the body of Violent Panda on the halfway line. Now Maestro wants to get off the backboard. Kadov does a very good job finding the corner. That was one of those baiting shots that you saw from Maestro, just trying to see if Kadov would make a mistake and then offer the rebound shot. I could go the entire way, actually, but Violent Panda... Violent Panda is one of those players that you look at and you always think he's out of position, and then you realize, nah, he was always just an inch or two within space of the ball. I
mean, that's the beauty of the top players now, is they always look like they're too far away from it. Because they're moving so fast, they've got so much momentum. When they readjust their routes, they get places a lot quicker than expected, and it really chokes down teams. They don't have the space they used to back in the day.
Oh, Kada wanted to go all the way down and pinch the floor. Double commit from Fnatic. This is going to be very difficult to really gain something from this, as Siki with low boost does actually steal away a Gale Force major boost, so now a little bit more difficult, but Gale Force have got the team play going. Turbo Pulsar doesn't have the option to go up for this, not with his low boost. Violent Panda forced to move in instead, as Turbo will retreat all the way back. He's going to be the player forced to deal with this Fnatic offensive, which didn't really last all that long and wasn't really all that threatening. Seems like Fnatic overfought the situation without putting any real pressure on Gale Force.
Said this game was going to be closer. It's still 0-0 and we're over halfway through the game. Genuinely, with these two teams, whoever scores first is going to be very likely to win.
Seems just like both these teams saw games 1 and 2. They realized just how good each other are. Now there's a nod of the head and a lot of mutual respect to what each other's capabilities really are. Turbo can steal the boost. He actually chooses against it, instead wants to go for the setup. Now Violent Panda flicks the ball up high. Very long ball style game that we're seeing here. Just need a goal to really spring it into life, in my opinion. K-Dot wants to put pressure on Snaski, who does play the ball over to the corner. Yet again, 2 players in net for Gale Force. However, they keep allowing shots to go off the backboard. They won't really be all that useful on the goal line, as this is very sloppy defense. Opportunity for Violent Panda. He does get shut down, but that's still hitting towards the net, and it will squeeze in. I have no idea how that went through.
Snaski moving out of net, hoping he can start cheating towards the boost, expecting his teammate Maestro not to lose that ball towards the goal. Violent Panda reads the delayed challenge.
And just like that, I mean, 1 minute and 26 seconds remaining. I said a goal would explode this game to life. Fnatic, they really need that goal now. They have not left themselves with much time to get something going. Violent Panda takes the ball by himself. Huge smoke screen happening as Snaski and Turbo Pulsar remove each other from the field. Turbo Pulsar watching as K-Dop tried to take a shot towards the net. Now he will pass the ball infield yet again. Gale Force finding each other a lot more now. Seem to be in control of the field. Tap down will come in. Violent Panda almost managed to get himself a negative angle backboard goal, but not quite turning in. And Fnatic are still in this match, trying to put a passing play of their own together. Turbo Pulsar up on the wall. Wanted to try and see if he could block Snaski, but didn't quite have the option come through. Instead, he goes for a demo on Maestro, who requires Siki to come in and help him out. Gale Force controlling the entirety of this field, however, whilst Fnatic still trails by 1 goal. This is the best possible defense Gale Force can put forward.
We did see it earlier on, though. Dignitas kept putting shots in. They did end up conceding on the breakaway, but that is not the case for Gale Force, as this constant pressure has resulted in a goal for them. Securing this game, I would expect. 23 seconds left. Gale Force 2-0 up.
Yep, Snaski could have probably left that for Maestro to get it clear. Just seemed desperate at that point in time after every single backboard touch that Gale Force had put forward. Well, 2 goals to 0. This is Gale Force's game to take as we head into the final 15 seconds. If Fnatic want any chance of this, they need to score right now. Siki putting that over to Snaski. The ball is played just too heavy. And that probably spells the end of Fnatic's chances in Game 3. Gale Force will head on to match point. They are 1 game away from Game 3 for Day 3.
Day 3 indeed. Well, we've got to remember, Gale Force come into this as the #1 seed. We cannot ever underestimate them. The only time you can bet against them is in a final, because that seems to be the only place they ever lose. They always manage to get there. But getting to Day 3 of DreamHack is a likely scenario here for Gale Force, but Fnatic are really giving them a challenge. They're going to have to change it up once again, because that didn't work that game. Being more defensive, not letting them score, eventually Gale Force found a way through.
Yeah, it just seemed like a strategic error on the side of Fnatic, putting themselves into a position that if they ever did concede, then they were going to be always up against it. As we have seen throughout this weekend, the teams that are down towards the latter half of the game get a lot more wild and a lot more sloppy with the rotations as they try and equalize the game. That's exactly what happened here. Gale Force just took the goal lead, kept themselves solid, and just forced Fnatic to be desperate.
But you cannot count out this Fnatic team. They've said it themselves, they're on form at the moment. And there's no better judge of your ability than yourself. May sound arrogant, but I can tell you now, if you get Sicky to say he's playing well, then he's playing well, because he self-deprecates so hard. Even at RLCS in Season 3, I said to him, well played, and he went, oh no, this is terrible. You're doing well, you came 4th, goddammit.
Yep, Sicky seems to have like a quiet confidence about him this weekend. Sure, he'll be more confident if Fnatic can get the first goal in this game, but Gale Force are really upping the speed and upping the pressure and upping the creativity. Everything has been turned up by at least 1 extra gear. As they start off this game how they mean to continue it with consistent pressure against Fnatic's board. And now Maestro has to just get away from the brick wall in his own net, and now Violent Panda and Turbo clattering into each other. Leave each other alone, boys. Playing clean. K-Dot. And that's towards Sicky, who just wants to try and be safe. Now Maestro. Over in the corner. K-Dot can try and pass outfield. So he's going to leave it to himself. Leave it for Turbo Pulsar now. Still dangerous. Sicky required. He's going to put that straight over to Violent Panda, who was definitely thinking about Turbo Pulsar, but not quite accurate enough. That sort of pass is going to be laser accurate towards the body of the car. We finished minute #1 scoreless. Another long ball played from Violent Panda. Pretty wasteful, but because they are so high, it's wasting boost and not really that many options for Sicky to get a powerful clear, so it actually allows Gale Force to transition offense, and we've already seen what they can do when they are allowed to siege for a long time.
Just notice Sicky there alone at the back with no boost. There was a chance for Gale Force. They put a good shot in a good path, and they could have definitely challenged that, and that is something you've got to watch out for. If your opposition look boost starved, that's when you put it up high. That's when you challenge their ability on low boost.
The backboard yet again. Fnatic holding a lot of players back. They are really respecting Gale Force's clear ability, and why not after the one we just saw all the way downfield? Gale Force can transition, they can take shots, but they can't quite break down Fnatic just yet. Violent Panda, look at the backboard. That is a poor touch in defense, and Turbo Pulsar will take it for the goal.
Sicky just touching that into the middle when his teammate Maestro was looking to come out and hit that one away, and that is a mistake. Turbo Pulsar read it the whole way. And now Gale Force are in that power position we spoke of. You do not want to go a goal down against this team. They are so good at completing the win once they're in this situation.
K-Dot puts that all the way down. What a play! Gale Force showing off their world champion status, and they will make it too.
Ceiling shots don't always have to be flashy. You can just use it to pass it down into the middle, and the ceiling shot infield pass. I said ceiling shot.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of just associated with those words at this point in time.
The ceiling play.
K-Dot showing off. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be mechanical. It just has to be useful.
It was very efficient, touching that one straight down. Now Gale Force are even more in control. 2 goals up, and we're starting to see the Gale Force that all teams fear.
Another shot on target. Every single time Gale Force take any sort of shot, because you just don't want them to get a rebound afterwards. Just everyone's forced to react to them all the time, and that makes it so difficult to play against, let alone set yourself up for your potential offense if you can get it away. Nice shot on target, but Violent Panda positions well. I think he's been watching your videos, Greg, and puts himself on the back post and allows himself to see the play coming in. Now another shot off the crossbar. set up, but Maestro, he's not putting that one in the net. Instead, we'll get it over to the side.
If any of these pros are watching my videos, then they certainly will be making the top level, because that is the quality of the tabletop tactics. But we'll move on.
I thought you were going to self-deprecate then, but good to see you've got the confidence with you. And speaking of confidence, Gale Force will be full of it heading into our final 2 minutes as they still have a cushion of a lead. Siki removed from the play. Violent Panda looking to go long. Gale Force just squeezing Fnatic into their own half. They are barely getting an opportunity to escape, and whenever they do, just due to how well Gale Force can get these clean strikes across field, the offense just doesn't last long enough. Now a double commit is not going to help out at all. As K-Dot will get the ball midfield. Violent Panda, he's going to go person hunting, but Maestro does avoid, gets the pass. And if that shot was accurate enough, that would have been an incredible play. But still 2-0 to Gale Force, and the time previously mentioned has been cut in half. 1 minute remaining, and still a brace needed for Fnatic.
Time just seems to disappear when Gale Force are playing. Every single touch they make takes away pressure. They just know how to keep control of that ball, keep control of the situation. And it just hasn't looked like Fnatic are ever going to score, because they've never had the opportunity to get a clean shot, clean pass. Now Gale Force on the attack.
Here's Snasky. Takes it over the top of Violent Panda. The retreating back K-Dot will put the ball up high. As Turbo can't get there in time, the shot is at least there, but it wasn't accurate enough. And time is ticking away quicker and quicker. 20 seconds now, could have been 3. Violent Panda, he will almost manage to score it, but Siki is there in time. Save that we'd be giving him a lot more credit for if Fnatic were not 2 goals down heading into the last 10 seconds. And it just looks like an impossible task at this point in time. Gale Force proving why they are the best in the world. Our RLCS Season 4 champions will take down Fnatic, and they'll take them down in convincing fashion.
Yes, there was a game 1 for Fnatic, but once we saw Gale Force settle, we know that they are one of the best teams in the world. They come on and perform as expected, and I'm sure they'll be happy with that performance. Just so clinical once they got that first goal in game 2. But we won't be seeing the end of Fnatic. We'll be seeing them play against G2 for a chance to make it to day 3. And the way they played there, and the way we saw G2 play earlier, that's going to be a close one.
Absolutely. Make sure you stay tuned for that one. Plenty of hugs across the board, something we've seen a lot this weekend. You can just see how close-knit this community is. But as you mentioned, Gale Force just seemed like they gave Fnatic one game to really show off what they have, like an exhibition of what Fnatic can do. And then they said, all right, that's cool, but this is what we can do.
I genuinely think that was a wake-up call. I think that was Gale Force going, we're not going to have an easy run to the final. There are so many good teams at this tournament, and I would love to know what the rest of the desk think about that close game. They said Fnatic.
Axel didn't.
Yeah, Axel, you can have this one.
Hey, man, I just said I'm picking the team that is the team to beat, and I think that was Gale Force coming into this, and I think they proved that, you know, they're at the top, and they're probably going to stay there for a very long time. But how about Fnatic just coming off in that game 1, doing a great job?
Yeah.
Gale Force had to work, just as Gregan and Shogun are saying, to make sure that Fnatic stayed a little bit under control there.
Yeah, Fnatic starting off so hot. I mean, after that game number 1, I thought they were going to go for the sweep, but Gale Force really coming in strong. Great adaptations.
Yeah, I think Shogun hit the nail on the head, and Gregan as well. I said that's a wake-up call. Said,
yeah,
we gotta put the heat on it, and they absolutely did it. As soon as that game 1 ended, shut them out. Fnatic didn't touch the back of the net again.
Well, let's talk to Turbo, who's standing by from Gale Force Esports. Turbo, welcome to the broadcast. I want to get your thoughts on that match overall and your thoughts towards Fnatic. You guys lost game 1, but how are you feeling overall after losing that game and your confidence level to actually take the series?
We felt really good coming into this game. We knew Fnatic is a great team. I actually did not think Fnatic was this good, but I have to give them props for going this far in the tournament.
Yeah, it was really impressive, Turbo, to see you guys adapt. You guys mentioned taking a very long extended break from serious competition. Do you think that really affected you? Do you think that hurt your tournament so far, or do you think it was a healthy break?
Coming into this tournament, I thought it was bad that we didn't practice at all. Well, not at all, but just not as much. But right now it feels really good. We're playing like we used to in like E-League or LCS, so I think we can make the finals.
Yeah, so there's already 3 North American teams in today number 3, potential for more. Are you surprised at the amount of North American talent that's made it through into day 3?
Not really, exactly. Like, there's a lot of upsets going on, but I'm excited to see a lot of NA teams coming into top 8.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Turbo, congratulations on your victory, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, that's Turbo from Gale Force Esports. They move on to tomorrow, and I believe they play the winner of our next match, which is going to be the Dudes versus Guess Who. But I feel like that has to be a great confidence booster in a sense for Gale Force, playing a top team like Fnatic, as hot as Fnatic was, 7-0.
Yeah.
Gale Force able to get that 3-1. If there was any doubt in their own minds that they aren't in the same shape because of whatever break happened, that can all go away now. They're looking super good, so I'm looking forward to seeing them tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Always interesting to hear how a break affects a player's form and especially a whole team. But it's good to hear that Gale Force are going into it with good spirits.
Agreed. Exactly the same thing.
I want to see the highlights from that match one more time. Gale Force a 3-1 victory over Fnatic in a match where Fnatic started out super hot, taking down game 1.
Oh, look at this shot from Snasky. Such a great read. This last bit of air roll. Oh, I mean, I was back. I was watching that, and Kux was next to me, and he goes, "Oh, Snasky!"
It was a tight one for sure. And then after that, though, it really all turned into just Gale Force. This is game number 2. And Gale Force, all 3 goals in that game number 2, they all found that exact same spot in the top left-hand corner. Fnatic really struggled to defend that top left-hand side in game 2.
Yeah, and it seemed like just after that, it was back to the Gale Force of old. Fnatic struggling so hard. Look at this. Snasky caught going the wrong way. A great 50-50 from Violent Panda, something that him and Kate have known so well for.
And then this last one, too, this
fancy.
solid pass into the middle, and then just right back over where he was, over the defender. That's a Gale Force to a T. What else do you want, man?
I love it, too.
Pass, high five, and win.
It's like, it was close at first, and then Gale Force is like, guys, we're Gale Force. We're like one of the best teams in the world.
We're supposed to win
if not
everything.
The best. And,
yeah, you're right.
And then we see all these ridiculous plays and the most fancy shots you can imagine. So Gale Force through to tomorrow, as a lot of people would have expected, and we get to find out who they're going to play, and it's going to be based on the result of this next match. Remember, the Dudes were able to take out the Juicy Kids from this group, so they're going to be playing against Guess Who fell to Dignitas. So this next match, a best of 5 to decide another team who will be advancing on to tomorrow. We're going to take a short break here from the DreamHack Open, day number 2. When we come back, it's Guess Who versus the Dudes. Don't go anywhere.